The Fox implosion continues as Donald Trump continues to decline in the polls, as Vice President Kamala Harris continues to surge. Fox is struggling with its normal propaganda routine. So last night on Sean Hannity was saying, look, that Donald Trump interview before the National Association of Black Journalists was actually a great opportunity. You know, it will allow Donald Trump to get out of the ABC debate with George Stephanopoulos scheduled for September 10th. One problem there, Hannity, well, multiple problems, but Donald Trump's already canceled. He's already chickened out of that debate. But watch Hannity squirm. Play the clip.
Now, maybe if ABC was an honest network and they had fair journalists, maybe President Trump's real record with African Americans would be front and center because he has a strong record. Also, maybe it's time for Donald Trump to reject any appearance at ABC. For example, why would he show up at their debate if the, quote, journalists clearly have opinion and want to debate Donald Trump themselves? And maybe he should just accept the Fox News channel's offer to debate. The first debate was on CNN. Why not have the second one on Fox News?
Yeah, Hannity, Donald Trump's campaign spokesperson last week put out a weird statement where they talk about George Slopadopoulos and this and ABC fake news. I don't want to read it. It's just so whiny. But they've already canceled it. Well, then you had Jesse Waters, just being racist Jesse Waters. Play the clip.
As far as who's Kamala, most of us wouldn't have gone in there and gone, who is Kamala Harris? Is she Indian? Well, she's Jamaican too. Not something I would have done, but he went in there and he peeled back the curtain. And a lot of times, I think early in her career, she identified as South Asian. That might have been effective in California. Now she is considered an African-American woman. You don't hear about that. She's not African-American technically because she has a Jamaican dad. I don't really distinguish about that stuff. Maybe other people do distinguish about that stuff. Barack Obama was mixed race. He identified as black. Okay, a lot of people that I know who are mixed race, sometimes they identify differently depending on the situation. And that's great. That's fine. What does this do to Donald Trump with the black community? I have no idea how this is going to play with the black community, but I do know they're going to be talking about Donald Trump in this moment for days and days and days.
Sean Hannity then had Harris Faulkner, who was one of the individuals moderating that discussion with Donald Trump. And Hannity was like, but there were some people clapping, right? Play the clip.
On the other hand, maybe I didn't hear the crowd right, and you can bring us in the room. I heard a lot of people cheering for Donald Trump. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, there were people who were, you know, he's funny. So there were people who were listening closely enough to catch some of his humor and to laugh.
By the way, just take a look at the lead chyron on Hannity. ABC journalist begins Trump interview with insults. Like they treat him like he's a little baby. And then if you look at the chyron as well for Jesse Waters, I mean, the way they just treat, it's unbelievable. Actually, it is believable if you watch Fox. Here, going back to Fox, we have Jessica Tarlov, though, going on the offense, pro-democracy ambassador, the one sane voice on Fox. Take a look at what Jessica Tarlov had to say. Let's play it.
Can I just add to that about the immigration point? Because obviously immigration is a strong issue for the Republican side of this right now, and they're going to be talking about the border, et cetera. But Donald Trump even fumbled the bag with that one and said they're coming in and they're taking black jobs. And so then the response is right away, well, what is a black job? What are you talking about? And it plays right into the hands of Kamala Harris because you know what a black job is? It's Vice President of the United States of America. It's a Supreme Court justice.
You know, of course it is, Jessica.
Well,
you know, of
why
course
does he keep saying that?
You know why? I don't know why. Can't get inside his head. But
by the way, Fox then asks Harris Faulkner about Trump's comments on Vice President Kamala Harris's race. Doesn't look like she's going to answer it. Here, play this clip.
Let's start with the second one first, the Abraham Lincoln comment. And we also played earlier his questions about whether or not Kamala Harris is Indian or black. Your thoughts on all of that?
All right, let's start with the order that you gave me. You know, just in terms of the former president answering questions, Martha, you and I have both interviewed him. It's it's an interesting journey that you go on, but you've got to keep pressing. And there was a little bit of contention on the dais about whether or not he could hear, and when he could hear, would he answer the question? I do feel like when it comes to the issues that he was talking about, what the question was that I had asked him was, with black communities feeling the pressure of high pricing now, what policy do you have that's going to go toward them particularly? You're here, you've come here. What's your message for black people who are young and in the audience and feeling this economy? So you heard a little bit of that in his first answer in that. And then with regard to what you were saying before, in terms of the audience shouting back and having some reaction to him, it was chippy at times, but for the most part they were laughing and they were getting kind of what they didn't have before this, and that was a conduit to a man that they see a lot on TV but don't know a lot about his policies. Kamala Harris and President Trump are going to be an interesting debate if and when that should happen.
By the way, if you want to see what Donald Trump said, here, just to be clear, here was Donald Trump's response. Play the clip.
Follow up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir,
of that.
I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me, if you
I
would.
just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I
that
think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct.
How much do you think you're paying in subscriptions every single month? I think the answer is probably more than you think. Over 74% of people have subscriptions they've forgotten about. I definitely did, like the time I forgot I subscribed to a certain streaming service. But thanks to Rocket Money, I'm no longer wasting money on the ones that I forgot about. You see, Rocket Money, it's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and helps you lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I can see all of my subscriptions in one place, and if I see something I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it with just a few taps. I love how the dashboard shows me this month's spending compared to last month, so I can clearly see my spending habits. Plus, they'll help me create a custom budget and keep my spending on track. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you by up to 20%. All you have to do is submit a picture of your bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. They'll deal with customer service for you. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/MeidasTouch. That's rocketmoney.com/MeidasTouch. rocketmoney.com/MeidasTouch. And then Harris Faulkner, tries to go on there to rehabilitate Trump and act like this is normal. Like, look, it gets chippy when you're a politician. Sometimes you don't want to answer all of the questions. Here, play the clip.
Now, it did get a little chippy because when a politician is interviewed, sometimes, Martha, they don't always answer the question that you ask. So the re-asks in this environment were very important. And so we got into some good topics, that are important, not just to black communities. And I say that plural because we're not all the same. We don't think the same. We vote different, that whole thing. And I love that representation in the room, too. That's
not the way it works, Harris. Look, the bottom line is you got to call it out. I mean, the bottom, where's the media saying Trump needs to drop out? Trump should, that was far more disqualifying than, let's be clear, than Biden's debate performance, what Trump did there. Let's be very, very clear. Like, here was Donald Trump, couldn't even handle getting asked a question. He's this petulant third grader. No offense to third graders. Play the clip.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
So that's going on at Fox. Then you have RSBN, which like competes with Fox. They're the other, they call themselves their right side broadcast network. So they have to be like, they're like extra propaganda. So first they say that Trump is the president of democracy. Play the clip.
He is the president of democracy. He truly is. And you can't get more democratic than Donald Trump. That's small d democratic.
Then they say Trump is an incredible athlete. Just randomly play the clip.
President Trump is truly a great athlete. I know he always talks about it, on the campaign trail, but to see it live in action, not that you had any doubt about it, but he was phenomenal. It's an amazing video as well.
Amazing.
And then here's where they're going with this. Just pure unadulterated racism here. Watch how pathetic this is. Play this clip.
All the media was claiming Kamala Harris, the same media, by the way, that claimed that she was once the border czar, which she was. Now they're saying, no, we never said that. They also said back then, and she campaigned on this, being the first Indian American senator elected to the Senate, although Pocahontas also had to run for her money. But, she campaigned on being Indian American. Kamala Harris, Indian American. Now all of a sudden, she did a 180. She really is elevating and pushing her black side. I think it's like 25% maybe.
Well, and a lot of
a lot of black Americans.
A lot of the mainstream media is making fun of us when we say things like that, and I want to just address that because, of course, people can have various races and be mixed. I'm mixed. All of us have different mixes. That's life. That's America. We're all from different countries. We have different cultural backgrounds. Somebody can have 2 different backgrounds, 3 different. But here's the thing: you don't pander to one race and one background and say. And then you exploit that and you use that for your own gain versus using it as the truth and saying, well, here's my mother is this, my father is this is my background, my husband is this is who I am, and I want to be there for all Americans. No, she's not doing that. She's doing the opposite. And that's what I think is making people upset.
You talk to so many African Americans who support President Trump, and they're opposed to her policies.
Right. They don't
think she's looking out for their interests, which she's not.
While all of this is happening, Donald Trump selling new sneakers. That's what Donald Trump is out there selling new sneakers over here. Bitcoin sneakers, whatever that even means. Then Donald Trump went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania last night, where he talked about how Vice President Kamala Harris is too tough on him. Here, play the clip.
Trying to pass herself off as a tough on crime prosecutor. She wasn't tough on crime. She's only tough on guys like me.
And by the way, just for a dose of truth, here's what really went down. This is from MSNBC. Play the clip.
And in talking to people, you read some of the reporting that I got. I was sitting in the room and people were stunned, right? I'm going to take you a little bit behind the scenes. People were stunned. People were gasping. There were some people who were shouting back at him, saying, that's a lie. So the room, the atmosphere, I think, was already sort of tense because this is a president that has attacked a number of National Association Black journalists.
And I like this too. This is Fred Trump going on MSNBC yesterday. Play the clip.
Do you feel bad? I mean, what would you have to make up for?
His lack of empathy. I feel that my name has been attached to his insanity. I'll use it. This is batshit crazy.
You can say that here.
And I think Pete Buttigieg frames it perfectly. Listen to this.
And the more she pulls ahead, the more you're going to see, I think, Trump revert to the only thing he knows how to do when he's trying to get attention, which is to get more and more outrageous. Remember, for that brief period when it looked like maybe he might have been winning earlier this year, he actually began to show some glimmers of something that might be described as discipline. That collapsed the moment that Kamala Harris became the presumptive nominee, and now we're seeing that. We're seeing it when he has an even mildly skeptical or challenging interview, which, as we can tell from today's event, he was not able to handle without just being even more insulting and strange than usual. But
let me know what you think. Fox imploding, Right Side Broadcast Network imploding. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.